Hey everybody, it's Dakota. Welcome back to class. Today we're going to stretch our hamstrings out a good bit, so it's good to see you. Let's go ahead and hop in a forward fold at the top of our mat. So walk your feet about mat width apart here, or just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and just go ahead and make your way down into your forward fold. Maybe just let your arms relax here. If you want to grab your ankles, it's fine. I'm just going to leave my arms heavy here, dangling, and maybe give a little shake left and right. And while you're here, make sure that most of your weight is on the big toes. So your weight's kind of leaning forward, letting your back fall over top the legs. Maybe shake out your head a little bit, shake it yes, no. And if your hamstrings are okay with it, maybe grab each elbow and let your body fully hang here in ragdoll. Give it a little shake here. Again, shaking out the neck. Just feeling the hip points start to make their way up towards the ceiling as you press through the legs. One more breath here. Maybe make it a still body. Just, sort of reaching those elbows to the ground. Wonderful. Go ahead and bring your hands to the ground. Heel toe your feet underneath you and inhale, halfway lift. And we're just going to exhale, step the feet back. Maybe you hold a plank or you lower down chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog, press it up. Exhale into your down dog. Go ahead and find a few breaths here. Just pedaling at the feet. So down dog is, some people kind of forget about it sometimes, but it's the best hamstring stretch. So we meet a down dog all the time in these yoga flows. And it's a perfect opportunity to find where your belly button drops between the thighs as you get rid of the curvature in this low back part. As you straighten out that low back, send the hip points up and drop the belly button down, you find out really quickly where your hamstrings want to be. They'll let you know really quickly. So find your 70% range all the time down dog. Just approach hip. And this is the best hamstring stretch. So usually when I start my practice, I can almost have my heels down to the ground, my back straight. But towards the end of my practice, my heels are down, just getting that last little stretch through my hamstrings. It's great. So find your last exhale here. Wonderful. Let's inhale, bring this right foot up to the ceiling. And let's hold this for a few breaths. So go ahead and make sure that your hips are square. Usually we, open this right hip up. But we're going to keep the hips nice and square here. Press through the hands, stay long here. And I want you to explore this left leg here. So this left hamstring, same thing here. Dropping the belly button forward, keeping that beautiful little, sweet little kiss of a stretch in that left hamstring. One more breath here, inhaling, reaching that right heel up and away, get long here. Wonderful. As you exhale, bring this right foot by the right pinky. Stepping that foot down here, little baby lizard action. And we're just going to float here, rock left and right. Just rocking into our hips. Feeling good here. Wonderful. On your next inhale, let's reach this right foot back up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, drop it down, down dog. Switching legs, inhale, left foot comes up. Pause here, a few breaths. Making sure the hips are square. Making sure you keep reaching the hip points away. Stay long here. Keep pressing through those arms. Trying to get as long as you can from the hands all the way to that left heel. The belly button is in that perfect spot where you feel that stretch in the right hamstring. Breathing into that. One more breath here. Inhaling. As you exhale, let's bring that foot, step it down in between, to the left pinky. We're holding here, just rocking forward and back for a moment. Just feeling into the hips. Feels good. Gotta love getting the hamstring stretch in because a lot of our back pain comes from tight hips, tight hammies. Does a lot for us when we open up our hamstrings. On your next inhale, let's bring that left foot back to the ceiling, three-legged down dog. Exhale, drop it down, down dog. Wonderful. Nice and warmed up here. On your next inhale, let's reach this right foot back up to the ceiling. As you exhale, step that foot in between the hands. We're going to inhale, come up into our lunge pose. We're going to pause here, just a couple breaths. I want you to focus on pulling this right heel back. as tight as you can. Keep that squeeze here in this right hamstring. And then from here, let go of that. Press through the leg with the quads to lift it straight. And then exhale, pull back with the heel and the hamstring. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, pull. Inhale, straighten with the quads. Exhale, pull. Inhale, straighten here. Let's drop this left heel down. Exhale, fold forward over the straight right leg. We're coming into a pyramid pose. So we square the hips to the front of the room. So that means rounding this left hip forward, deepening the right hip crease back, squaring the hips, and dropping the belly button where you're comfortable. If you have to, microbend this right knee. That can sometimes help a lot. But if it feels okay, maybe you fold the head, fold the chest. And breathe here. One more breath. Deepening that right hip crease back. Maybe flexing the quad. Gives you extra stretch there. On your next inhale, bend the right knee. Open the heart up. And just exhale. Take your chaturanga or plank pose. Inhaling up dog. Exhale into your down dog. Inhale, left foot comes up this time. Exhale, step that foot down in between the hands. Inhaling into our lunge pose. Exhale, pause. Same thing here. Squeeze that left heel back. So I want you to pull it and make it warm before we add the stretch here. The warmer your muscles are, the much easier stretch out, I promise. So a few reps. Inhale, straighten. Press with the quads. Exhale, pull with the hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale. Feels good. Inhaling. Exhaling. We're going to inhale this time. Stay up. Drop the right heel down. Exhale. Take your forward fold over the left foot. Pyramid pose here. So the right hip rounds to the front of the room. Deepen that left hip crease back. Feel that nice stretch in the quad. Again, bring a micro bend if you need to here. Find where you're comfortable. Hips are square, and then maybe you deepen the forward fold. It's really all about the belly button though. Your chest could be up here. It could be way up here. You drop the belly button. That's where you feel the stretch. Forward fold is just to get the, the extra reach through the spine. Find one more breath here. Wonderful. On your next inhale, bend the left knee, open the heart up. As you exhale, take your vinyasa. You can go straight to your down dog or breathe through your chaturanga and up dog. Wonderful. Down dog, finding a couple breaths here. Again, dropping the belly button. Now your heels, see my heels are touching now. Maybe your heels can get a little bit lower. Maybe you can drop your belly button down a little bit lower through the inner thighs. Lifting the hip points up. At the end of the day, you're really just getting rid of the curvature of the low back, lumbar spine. One more breath here. Wonderful. From here, we have the option. So we're going to come into a seated pose. We're going to do about 3 to 4 rounds of this. So you can either walk through your hands, like so. Get a nice little hamstring stretch as you come through. And then you just sit down, like so. That's option 1. If you have a jump through in your practice, you can do option 2, just gazing through your hands and jumping through, bouncing through into our seated posture. So whatever you choose, find one more breath here in down dog. And either you're walking through or jumping through on the next breath. We're finding a seated pose. Legs out in front of us. As you inhale, lift the chest up, reach the hands up. And as you exhale, take a forward fold here. Nice regular forward fold, dropping the belly button forward. And here I like to bring a little bit of engagement to the quads, like you're trying to reach the heels to the front of the room, dropping the hip creases back, deepening them as you drop the belly button forward. Full breaths. Nice little ujjayi breath to keep that warmth. Just keep reaching the crown of the head towards the feet. One more full round breath. On your next inhale, slowly make your way up. We're bending at the knees here. Bring the feet about a foot away from the sit bones. The hands about a foot away from the sit bones. Fingers pointing away from us. On the inhale, lift the hips up and drop the head back. So from here, I want you to pull a little bit with the heels. Give a little bit of flexion to the hamstrings. Like you're trying to pull the knee pits to the front of the room, away from your shoulders. So you get this nice little decompression in the back. At the same time, you're flexing the hamstrings after a lot of lengthening, a lot of extension. Keep breathing here, 2 more breaths. Just letting the front body open up a little bit after the forward fold. Last inhale. Wonderful. Exhale, slowly come down. You can choose how you come back. Maybe you just pick yourself up here and walk back, or you try to lift yourself up with your hands and you can float back. Up to you. Find your variation that works. And just meet me in down dog with your next breath. And while we're down dog, finding just 2 breaths, find that hamstring sweet spot. Same thing. Every time we come back here, it gets a little bit more loose, a little bit more comfortable in our home base pose. So find your last exhale. We're walking or jumping through our hands. Sitting down. Wonderful. So we're widening out the feet this time. So come into a wide-legged stance. I'll give you a better view here. So we're widening our stance here. Come into our 70% range. So wherever your 70% is, you stop, and that's where you hold. So what we're going to do is lift up the chest as you inhale. We're going to go to the left foot. As you exhale, you can either reach the right arm over top, or you can simply twist your chest towards that left foot and find a forward fold here. It's up to you. My preference is the right arm over top. Reaching, even if you don't touch the foot, you reach with the hand. If you can grab the big toe or the foot, that's great. Just finding a stretch here in the right side body and that left hamstring, reaching that left heel away from the left hip crease. Keep it active. 1 more breath. Oh, feels good. Slowly inhale, come up all the way. Reach the chest up, keep the spine long. And then exhale, maybe twist the chest. Maybe reach the left arm over top for the right leg. And then now we're getting that right hamstring to reach. So you reach that right heel away from the right hip crease. Oh, it feels good. And then the left side body, keep dropping that left hip down. So in this pose, that left hip wants to come up. Keep extending through that left side body. 1 more breath. Awesome. Slowly come on up. And on your exhale, we're going to take a forward fold. So we're dropping forward. So this is a nice little bit of groin stretch along with hamstring stretch. So dropping the belly button forward. Same thing. That's where it all comes from. And maybe you stay up on your hands. It really doesn't matter because it's really just about this right here. The tilting of the pelvic floor. That's where you feel all of your stretch. So find 1 more breath here. Slowly come up on the inhale. Wrap the hands around the feet. Maybe you walk back or maybe you jump through back. Float on through to your chaturanga. And then meeting me in down dog with your next breath. However you please. Wonderful. Down dog. 2 breaths. We just got 1 more jump through. Just doing the best we can. Wonderful. My hamstrings are feeling good. I know yours are too. Let's gaze between the hands. Either you're walking or you're floating through your hands. Wonderful. On the last one, we're going to bring this right heel in. Tuck the knee underneath. So your foot can be either to the side or you can sit up on top of your heel. This is totally up to you.
But we're wrapping the chest, facing the chest to that left leg. We're inhaling, pulling the heart forward. As you exhale, walk the hands and chest down. And again, you can always stay up on your hands here. You don't need to really come into a forward fold here. Just drop the belly button forward. That's where you get that stretch with the left hamstring. You feel it nicely underneath. And keep reaching this left heel forward. As you deepen left hip crease back. The chest coming down is optional. Finding one more breath. And as you inhale, slowly come on up. And then exhale, just switch your legs. Right leg straight, left leg bends underneath. Maybe you held it here, maybe you're sitting on the heel. Whichever variation works for you. Inhale, open the heart, drop the belly button forward. Exhale, lean forward. Maybe take your forward fold, maybe just stay here on your arms. The main thing here, belly button dropping, reaching the heel forward. Make it an active stretch, like you're trying to lengthen your leg forward, not just pulling your hamstring forcefully. Finding your last couple breaths. And on your inhale, slowly come on up. And as you exhale, straighten out the left leg as well. We're going to do a little upward plank. This time you have the option to keep your legs straight if you want. You can always bend them though, just like the last time. And as you inhale, let's lift up the hips. Drop the head back. 5 breaths here. Trying to touch the big toes on the ground if you can. Again, just opening up the front body, all these forward folds. Lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Getting that rejuvenating feeling. Using the back side of the body to open up the front side body. One more breath. Come on, you got this. Last inhale. And slowly come down as you exhale. Wonderful. Hug your knees into your chest as you lie down on the back. And just rock left and right. Feels good. Nice little relaxing flow. You got a little bit of warmth in you. But super relaxing. Hamstrings feeling good. From here, we're going to come into a happy baby. So grab the outer edges of the feet and pull the knees to the side. We're just going to be here for a couple breaths. I want you to make sure the sacrum and the tailbone still stay in contact with the ground as you pull the knees to the side. Getting a little hamstring stretch here, opening up the groins. And all we're going to do from here is bring your legs together. If you can, keep a hold of the feet. Straighten out the legs as you walk the legs over the chest. Coming into a nice little plow pose variation where your back is still flat. And what we're going to do here is it's just like we're in a forward fold here, but we're lying on our back. So from here, if you want to engage the feet, engage the quads, reach the heels over top. Try to drop the belly button forward as you reach the tailbone and sit bones down. So same motion of the pelvic floor, but now you're doing it upside down. And you can feel a juicy stretch pretty quickly here. Awesome, and you can always pull with your hands. Again, pulling the crown of the head towards your feet as your hip creases deepen more and more with every breath. Finding your last round, inhaling. And we're going to slowly come out as you exhale. Wonderful. Drop the feet down next to the sit bone, about hip width apart. Make sure you can touch the heels with your hands, and on your next inhale, reach the hips up. Interlock the hands underneath the back and wiggle the shoulder blades together. And just enjoying a little bridge pose here. Again, pull the heels towards you, towards your hands, engaging, flexing the hamstrings, just to give a nice little counter movement, counter flexion to all the stretching we're doing in the hamstrings. It feels good. Just a couple more poses left. Your hamstrings are already thanking you for the day. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, slowly come down. Wonderful. We're just going to do a couple supine twists before we end our Savasana. So wrap your right leg over your left and drop your legs to the left side as you gaze to the left. Just 2 big stomach breaths here. Nice full breaths, conscious breaths, maybe 7 seconds or longer, just to slow the heart rate down in this little sequence. Very smoothly. Go ahead and come back to the center and switch legs. Left leg comes over right. And go ahead and exhale. Legs drop to the right, gazing to the left. Same thing here, just breathing into the stomach. Full, slow breaths. Anytime you're coming out of a flow, just slowing the heart rate down as you end your practice. Just prepping the body for Savasana. Wonderful. Come back to the center. If you need to do any last movements, of course, feel free with the legs. But from here, we're going to make our way into our Savasana. And as you make your way down to your final pose, as always, keeping in mind, whatever your intention was coming into this practice, just give thanks to that. Honor that for a moment. And make your closing intention something more than yourself. So as always, hoping that our practice helps others, not just ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed this flow today. And until next time, namaste.